finals for, oh, I almost said Zotac Cup, the StarCraft Ascension $100 Tournament Open Cup. This was, of course, an event open to anyone of any league, and I believe they mentioned they're looking to maybe do this as a monthly thing, so keep an eye out for it. Maybe you're Platinum, maybe you want to just play for fun and lose to Arthur. I don't know what, but please check back in the future, and of course, don't forget, we see someone talking about Copper in chat. Well, let's not forget the sponsors of this tournament, Copper Code Labs. Guys, for those who don't know Copper Code Labs, you can Google them. They do a lot of web design stuff. I didn't know what they were for the longest time. I looked them up. They've actually got a pretty fancy looking website. It's pretty, it's neat, it's nice. But let's get into this. Spawning here in the lower left corner of the snowy Kespa version of Neoplanet as playing for Western Wolves. It's 4 a.m. for him. It's Arthur.
And in the top right-hand corner from Team Latin Gaming Squad, as far as my knowledge goes, as the Red Zerg player. Very, very beastly player. But losing in that last game, down 0-1. Cheer for him if you were cheering for him. It's LsEbA. Cheer for him if you're cheering for him. That's what I want to hear.
And just going off of chat here real quick, I'm a low Masters Terran high Widowmine player.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
It's a good assessment. I like that one.
Yeah.
But okay, Arthur, this is another map where if you wanted to go for Sky Toss, it would absolutely, pardon my phrasing, rape LsEbA. But it's not so easy to get to that composition, and LsEbA, last game, really just allowed Arthur to sit back and do what he wanted. I mean, that wasn't even a Forge Fast expand, it was a gateway into 3 more gates with just a typical expansion. This is a map too, we're getting the third base, Talix, always that much more difficult.
Yeah, this third base is very, very hard to hold for any race at the end of the day. I mean, there's a back entrance to it. It's really far from your natural, especially for Zerg players, because you have to try to spread that creep, and that creep is not easy to spread. Oh god, that one probe is continuing to be really annoying.
Oh, he's doing a great job without throwing down a pylon, yeah. The creep spread, though, the reason it's such a big deal, without the watchtowers, and there's only 2 attack paths, getting 1 creep tumor on each side of the map will basically buy you map vision for the cost of some very small amount of APM.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, let's take a look here. We did see Arthur did go for the fast Nexus-based play before he threw it down. The Forge, another pylon's going to be going down, and then the Gateway is going to go down as well. So what do you think we're going to see here out of Arthur? Obviously going for that faster expand. And he was actually able to delay LsEbA for quite a bit there, from getting that natural down.
This is probably a map where Arthur wants to go for Colossus composition, but of course if he does that, he always has to be wary of those Vipers. Vipers and Corruptors are just such good anti-Colossus units.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, back in Wings of Liberty, it was hard for Zergs to come up with a complete, and I would say a fantastic way to deal with the Colossus, but now with Vipers, it's almost like candy. They're like, oh, you made 4 Colossus, I have 5 Vipers. Enjoy getting eaten by my roaches. Oh, the Zealots actually make it into the base here. LsEbA gets past Arthur. That probe did not block off like he was supposed to. And now there's going to be a bit of aggression here. This is going to be very annoying for Arthur to have to deal with. He has to pull the probes and try to do as much damage as possible.
This is so funny. You said Zealots instead of Zerglings. I was like, wait, what? On the other side of the map, what the fuck were Zealots made? But
yes, I'm an idiot.
No, it happens. Misspeaks. We're at the end of a tournament. It's understandable. I was just like, I was looking on the map for a second. I was like, wait, what? Did I really miss that? But
Yeah,
no, these Zerglings are
man.
being really annoying, but a nice response. Arthur actually dealing with this quite effectively, but losing a lot of mining time too. This we can see down here in the bottom. His economy suffering by almost half.
Yeah, for those of you guys who would like to know some information, for every time a probe mines, it brings you 5 minerals, and it also takes 5 seconds for them to mine. So for every second the probe is not mining, he's losing 1 mineral. And that actually adds up quite a lot over time.
Interesting, interesting. Well, you are the Protoss expert, so thank you for that information, Talix.
Well, the same happens with drones and SCVs too. Not mules, though. Mules are crazy.
Mules are just kind of like really cool. That's what they come down to. Cool mules! But okay, a nice round on these Zerglings will clean the majority of them up. 1 Zergling remaining, not that scary for Arthur to have to deal with. And did he actually lose any probes? No, he didn't lose a single probe for all of that, so nicely done.
Yeah, fantastic hold there for Arthur. Alright, well, another pylon's going down. Here we go. The 1 Zergling finally does get cleaned up. The natural base for Arthur is going to continue to make probes. He's getting that +1 attack upgrade right now. For our Zerg player, we can see that that third base is up and it's mining pretty effectively right now. Actually doing a very good job on those larva injects as well. But no, it actually just gas has just started at the natural now. And
LsEbA comfortably on his third base, so I mean, he's really in no immediate danger. He sent out those lings, he got the bit of aggression off that he wanted to do, but Arthur's not going to be responding with anything soon. Maybe in the next 2 minutes if he decides to throw down a robo and push, but currently what's on the field, LsEbA will be comfortable to just drone for the next 2 or 3 larva injects.
yes, indeed. All right, well, let's take a look. We can see that one probe, once again, manages to get back in here. That one Overlord gets tickled a little bit there by the sentry, but it's going to hide well and be fine. Now we're going to see Arthur actually have quite an influx of gas here pretty soon, as the double assimilator at the natural base is finished up.
I'm really curious what the timing he's aiming for here. He's going for Blink, and Blink actually works pretty well on this map. It's not exactly Antigua Shipyard good, but it still works very nicely when it comes to these micro battles.
Oh man, Antigua Shipyard, that's a callback to like Season 3 of Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, but there's also, I feel, Cloud Kingdom's a close to it, but like Antigua was like the most broken Blink map, I feel.
Antigua's really great. It was also what I like to call map tank, or tank map, or something, because it felt it was really effective for tank players as well, for Terran.
Tanks, something that seemed to be dying in the mist. I really want to see more tanks, but Arthur, he's got the threat of 3 drones outside of his base, Talix. What could possibly happen?
That's terrifying.
That's a very awkward misrally, to say the least.
Yeah. I wonder if he thinks those are Zealots or Zerglings, just like looking at the minimap. He's like, oh yeah, I got some Zerglings there.
Well, he should be getting the idle worker. There we go, pulling them out. Now it's kind of like, oh, well, that's weird. But okay, 4 gates coming down, going to bring him up to a total of 5, 6, 7, 8.
If I was EBA, I would have just been like, no, I meant to do that, then throw down like 3 hatcheries, and then just like...
Proxy hatchery, just straight up manner it.
Proxy hatchery across the map.
Ooh, now this is where it gets a bit dicey. While we do have 8 gates ready to start pushing, we have the Hydralisk Den starting. And as we all know, Hydralisk kind of beat out most gateway units. The only way for a Protoss player to really beat Hydralisk with gateway units is just to win through a numbers game. You gotta overpower them, and that's all you can really do. There is no best counter to them.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the best thing to counter as a Hydralisk, of course, is the Colossus, but then you move into another thing where you need lots of gas. You can't have the same kind of gateway army that you would have because it's such a huge investment.
Well, this 8-gate push should be pretty strong, and the Hydralisk Den going to the 3rd. We'll have to see if that plays 4 against him. Arthur knows where it is thanks to this Mothership Core, and is actually going to poke at it.
Alright, well, a whole bunch of sentries streaming across the map right now, a whole bunch of Stalkers being warped in as well. I wonder if we're going to see 2 warp-ins of Stalkers before they actually go in for the engagement, which is something I think they need, as there's already a bunch of Roaches and Zerglings here. Alright, the Zerglings actually going to catch Arthur's army, just barely seeing it. And at the same time, actually, there's 1 Zealot in the natural base of Arthur. Oh, but it just got picked off.
Well, Arthur coming across with his Mothership Core does just kind of float safely over the units, as there are not a lot of Hydralisks on the field, but now there are some. And some Time Warps could be quite deadly here, Talix.
Yeah, I completely agree. Ooh, there we go. 1 Time Warp goes down, some Force Fields go down as well.
Mothership Core pops, though.
Yeah.
And Arthur does have Blink, so he's going to have Micro on his side. There we go, nicely done, jumping back. Force Fields doing what they can, but really not the best ones in the world. He's still got a lot more in store, though.
Yeah, that's very true. I think in this case, though, EBA's got a big advantage. Arthur can't engage too much unless those perfect force fields go down, of course.
And
that's
double
really
pylons
nice.
will allow for a really nice warp, and the first one gets focused down, but that's okay, because the second one's there to back it up. And he's going to just push forward, and this is what I'm talking about. You need numbers, that's it. You don't need too much, but you need numbers. And Arthur could continue to fight this. He'll lose a lot more Stalkers, but he would wipe out these Hydralisks. No question. I'm surprised he doesn't try to pick off these... Oh, the reinforcing Hydralisks are out of vision.
Oh, just barely. But, you know, he is continuing to reinforce. He's getting more Zealots and Stalkers right now. This is actually a very large Stalker count. And they do have the +2 attack upgrade for the Hydralisks. They are just the +1. And the Zergling's not very effective either right now. So the upgrade game does go to Arthur.
Yeah, he's also on even count. 24 Stalkers, 25 Hydralisks. He's got to be careful doing some nice hit and run. Of course, he's got Blink on his side, which is going to play a huge factor with this fight. Arthur with some amazing micro. We will likely see him picking out 1 Stalker at a time. You know, that perfect plick-plop, plick-plop.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the sentries that he still has in this army still can put down quite a few force fields right now, which are going to be very, very effective.
He would love to use Guardian Shield as well. I mean, there we go, popping it immediately. Does Blink right on top of all of the Hydralisks and taking a nice engage point. Oh my god, he zones out the rest of the Hydralisks, and Arthur, cutting the army in half, finds himself in such a nice position, funneling these Hydralisks into an awful choke point. And while he can't quite push up into that 3rd, he really wants to.
I know I want him to right now. That was a sick engagement, but here we go. Not any more force fields to go down, and it looks like this Protoss army might actually get picked up.
But look at that Blink micro.
Ooh,
it's sustaining Arthur for much longer than it should be.
Yeah, EBA actually looks like he's going to be losing this battle here, and I was thinking that was going to be going a completely other way. Oh, let's see if we're going to have even more reinforcements right now. Yes, indeed, more Stalkers get warped in. That pylon tries to get focused down. It does.
Oh, but that forward Blink on top of the Hydralisks. Again, these Stalkers trading very efficiently for the amount that are on the field. I mean, Hydra should be running right over top of this army rampant, but Arthur, with some amazing Blink Micro, has been sustaining this through and through.
That's very true, but we have to continue to look at that worker supply right now. It is 71 drones versus 47 probes. A good number of probes,
Arthur,
but how long can it last?
He's got 8 gates, but he can't afford to warp in 8 at a time. He really needs to get up there and start chipping away at that base. Fighting the army is not going to be enough.
Yeah, definitely. When you have the 3 base, the Zerg can reinforce. It's going to be much harder for the Protoss player to do it. God, that Blink Micro out of Arthur is just absolutely sick. When he gets hit, puts it right back.
It's this really depressing clock, though. Arthur cannot sustain with these losses, whereas his opponent can. I mean, we see him picking some great Hydralisks off here, some beautiful Micro, as you said, but still, he can't keep up with this.
It's very true, but I mean, we can say that about him, but then he just goes ahead and does it anyways, and still looks fantastic, so... Alright, well, even more of an engagement here. Looks like this is going to be an even bigger one. Amazing Blink Micro. Oh my god, how is Arthur doing that?
It's like watching Christmas lights, Daleks. It's amazing.
He doesn't, like, let any of his stalkers die. I don't know how he's doing this. His Micro is absolutely insane. EBA is looking for something.
Still behind in supply, though.
Yeah, but he's closing that gap. It's coming up much faster for him lately. Alright, well, let's see what happens now. Actually, EBA doesn't have much of an army left right here. So he's going to have to see if he can get into a good engagement.
I watch you just go north, man. Go north to the wall.
Well, I also don't think he wants to lose that reinforcing pylon, because otherwise that's the end of the army. So he's trying to stay aggressive with this army, but not expose the pylon until another one gets put down.
Oh, loses like his first stalker in the 5-minute period. Gonna take a huge engagement here, but coming from behind is Evo with a reinforcing Hydralisk. Arthur does have to be careful, does deal with him very nicely, but now he's got the forward army to deal with once again. Blink Micro, a lot of these blinks are on cooldown.
That's very true, but he is reinforcing still behind this. I don't know how Arthur is doing this. I think this guy took like some sort of steroid, a StarCraft steroid at the beginning of the day. And he's also got to remember, this is 4 AM for him.
Yeah, you guys, this is Arthur operating off of very little sleep, and he's probably exhausted, and he's still being able to pull off Micro like this. This is insane.
God. I think if anything, like, guys, we should just, like, start bowing down to Arthur. I think Arthur is the new Space Shark, guys.
Well, he's going to continue, but again, he cannot sustain these losses. Despite how immaculate his Micro is, he still is taking heavier losses than his opponent. He needs to get in here and start getting some worker kills.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, I mean, if this had been a focus on the 3rd base, I think the 3rd base would have fallen a long time ago.
Protoss Death Ball is called. It's kind of what's happening here in truth. Zealots now being unleashed from the heart of the Stalkers. But this Hydralisk, again, trading very cost effectively with these Stalkers. Checking the upgrades right now. Yeah, definitely going well here for Arthur.
Yeah, there we go. Enough of an army, I think, now that EBA has is actually going to be able to force Arthur back. But God, this Blink Micro is just... How do you answer his EBA here? I mean, this entire time he's been playing fantastic.
He needs Fungals, he needs Swarm Host. There are a lot of options that EBA could go for, but unfortunately, nice burrow. Might trick Arthur into moving forward, does trick Arthur into moving forward, but again, picking up that Blink Micro right where he left off, and these Hydras are getting slaughtered by no health stalkers.
I can't even, all of my what's is happening right now. Arthur is closed the gap, and EBA, though had an advantage in that fight, like absolutely clearly, is, I think, lost the game.
Well, we've got one more game to fall back on at the very least. The hatchery does go down somehow magically, despite the fact that he ignored the 3rd base for the entirety of this game. Arthur still causing crazy damage.
How did we even do this?
I don't know. Talix, you're Protoss. You need to practice.
I have to be objective, but I can't, because my brain is melted in this game.
Yeah, this is a little bit absurd. We'll come up here, do kind of the death blow to this 3rd base, and EVA on 1 base with losing the Hydralisk, and will have no hope left in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Rifkin.
I know, words fail me.
Break the game.
Arthur did not break the game, but he good game. Well played is called. Because damn, Arthur, man. Oh.
Is Arthur, like, Code S winner? Like, what the heck?
He was former Slayers, if that gives any indication to skill.
Of course, Slayers is an amazing team, but I mean, like, that Blink Micro was, like, Code S champion 6 times running kind of Blink Micro. God.
Yeah, the micro, we can get caught up on the micro all day, but EBA had a lot of alternate solutions he could have gone for. A couple of swarm hosts, a fungal growth or two. These are all small things that could have changed that entirely. But Arthur, definitive game two. He's got to get one more though to take it all, guys.